Welcome to the deep dive. We're your shortcut, really cutting through the noise to get you the knowledge that actually makes a difference. Today, we're tackling something so many people deal with: joint pain, inflammation. But here's the twist. Getting a handle on this, it can seriously boost your heart health, maybe even help ward off certain cancers. Pretty surprising, right? Our main source for this deep dive is Dr. Richard Diana's book, Healthy Joints for Life. And his story is, well, it's unique. Think about this. NFL player, Super Bowl champ. Then he goes to med school, becomes an orthopedic surgeon. That path, from the impacts of pro football to the precision of surgery, it gave him a really different viewpoint. Plus, seeing his own mom battle terrible arthritis and his teammates dealing with joint problems after football, that really pushed him to find answers beyond just surgery. It's quite a journey he took.
Absolutely. And our mission today is really to get into the science behind that inflammation and joint pain. We're going to lay out Dr. Diana's plan. It's been tested, it's scientifically solid, and it hits three main things: what you eat, how you move, and some smart supplementation. But what's really compelling, I think, is that this plan, yeah, it's for joints, but the ripple effects, they touch everything: heart disease risk, cancer risk. It's more like a whole body health strategy.
That connection he made from, the gridiron violence to understanding health right down to the cellular level, that's fascinating. He must have seen the damage firsthand. And like you said, that personal side, watching his mother, that clearly drove him. He actually writes that he grew to hate inflammation and joint pain and what they can do to a person. He saw it up close.
And inflammation really is the central villain here. So what triggers it? Well, it's kind of a constant attack, isn't it? Things like mechanical stress from carrying extra weight, pollution in the air, chronic stress from work, and definitely the fast food, the additives and processed foods. It's not like these things cause pain overnight. No, they sort of simmer away inside our cells, gradually setting the stage for problems like arthritis. It's this ongoing low-level battle inside us. And, our understanding of osteoarthritis itself has really changed. We used to think it was just simple wear and tear, like, tires on a car just wearing out.
Right, that makes intuitive sense, but maybe too simple.
Exactly. Dr. Diana pushes this whole joint theory. He emphasizes it's not just the cartilage wearing thin, it's a disease affecting, well, everything in there. The synovial lining that makes the joint fluid, the bone underneath, the cartilage, yes, but also muscles, ligaments, even the white blood cells that show up.
Wow, okay, so it's the whole neighborhood, not just one house.
Precisely. And that changes everything for treatment, right? It has to be holistic. You have to address the whole system because the trouble often starts deep down with that cellular inflammation.
So what does that really mean for you listening right now? It means that awful joint pain. It might not just be a surface issue. It likely starts way down at the cellular level. And that's exactly where Dr. Diana's program focuses its fight, right at the source.
Let's dive into that cellular battleground. So our bodies, organs, joints, everything, they're built from billions of tiny cells. And around every single cell is a membrane. Think of it like a bouncer at a club, or maybe a police line. It's mostly made of fats and cholesterol, and its job is crucial. Control exactly what gets in and out, keep things flowing fast and orderly. Now here's the really wild part. The fats you eat, they literally become the building blocks of these membranes.
So you are what you eat isn't just a saying.
It's biologically true, right down to your cell walls. The fats dictate how well that police line works, and it gets deeper. Those fats in the membrane, they aren't just structural padding, they're active. They get converted into messenger molecules. Some of these messengers fan the flames of inflammation, others put the fire out. So things like saturated fats, certain omega-6 fats, they can become pro-inflammatory signals if they dominate your cell membranes. But omega-3 fats, those become anti-inflammatory signals.
Ah, okay. So the balance of fats in my diet is literally deciding whether my cells are poised to fight or poised to calm down.
Exactly. You're building either an inflammatory or an anti-inflammatory environment with every meal, essentially.
Okay, this is where Dr. Diana brings in something really fascinating, these DNA caretakers. What are these? How do they act like switches inside our cells controlling something like pain?
Great question. So the main player here, the chief caretaker as he calls it, the one that really throws the master switch for inflammation, is a molecule called nuclear factor kappa beta, NFKB for short.
NFKB.
Got it. Right. So when your joint cells get stressed, maybe from overuse, an injury, or even those inflammatory foods we talked about, NFKB gets activated, switched on. And that triggers a whole domino effect. White blood cells flood the area. Blood vessels get leaky, causing swelling. Pain chemicals get released. And if this keeps happening chronically, it leads to cartilage breaking down. That's the pain you feel. So controlling that molecule, NFKB, is kind of the holy grail here. In many ways, yes. If you can dampen NFKB activation, you're not just easing joint pain. You're dialing down inflammation across your whole body, which, as we said, has huge implications for heart disease, for cancer risk. It's central. And related to this, there are also free radicals. These are sort of like the exhaust fumes from your cells, just doing their everyday jobs.
Yeah.
But these fumes, these free radicals, they can damage cells and trigger more inflammation.
And that's where antioxidants come in.
Exactly. Antioxidants are the cleanup crew. They neutralize those free radicals, stopping them from causing more damage and inflammation.
Okay, so if the battle starts with cells and inflammation, Dr. Diana's first pillar makes total sense. ET. It's all about food. He lays out these 11 nutritional commandments for joint health. He really hammers home that direct link, what's on your plate, affects how your joints feel.
Absolutely foundational. Let's start with insulin. He actually calls it the body's primary inflammatory hormone. Your body releases insulin mainly in response to carbohydrates. So lots of carbs, especially simple ones, means lots of insulin. And constantly high insulin. That's like soaking your body in inflammation. He uses this great analogy. Cells can become sort of deaf to insulin, like your grandparents turning the TV way up because they can't hear it.
Right.
So your body just shouts louder, pumps out even more insulin. It's a vicious cycle driving inflammation. Then carbohydrates themselves, it's not about cutting them all out, but choosing wisely. Using tools like the glycemic index or GI and glycemic load, GL, helps. Lower GI and GL foods cause less of an insulin spike. So better for joints.
Okay, so choosing carbs that don't spike your blood sugar too much.
Exactly. And he points out that even natural sugars, like fructose, which is loaded into so many processed foods, can actually attack the collagen in your joints. Think about it. Broccoli is a carb, gummy worms carbs, worlds apart in their effect.
Good point.
Even how you cook matters. Pasta cooked al dente. Lower GI than mushy, overcooked pasta. Next up, fiber. Huge benefits here. No calories, helps digestion, makes you feel full. And crucially, it's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
It actually helps lower insulin in that NFKB we talked about.
So load up on fruits, veggies, whole grains.
Yes, both soluble and insoluble fiber are good. He suggests aiming for about 0.15 grams per pound of your body weight daily. Now, fats, big topic. He distinguishes saturated fats, think butter, solid at room temp, from unsaturated fats like olive oil, liquid at room temp. But here's a key warning. Avoid oxidized polyunsaturated fats, PUFAs. These are common cooking oils, corn, soy, canola, sunflower, especially when heated high, like in deep frying.
What happens?
They can become toxic and super inflammatory in the body. He recommends cooking with unrefined organic coconut oil or avocado oil instead. The main goal with fats is boost your omega-3s, those good anti-inflammatory ones, and cut way back on omega-6s, which can be pro-inflammatory if you get too many.
And grass-fed beef has a better ratio than grain-fed, right?
Correct. Better omega-3 to omega-6 balance. And the non-negotiable, avoid trans fats. Check labels for hydrogenated oils. If you see that, just put it back on the shelf. Finally, proteins. He says eat plenty, but watch the fat that comes with them, especially in things like ground meat. Good sources: salmon, chicken, turkey, buffalo, that grass-fed beef. And a neat trick, eating protein with your carbs helps slow down the sugar absorption from the carbs. Less insulin spike.
I love his phrase, exorcising the joint devils from your kitchen. It's so vivid. It's not just adding good stuff, it's actively kicking out the bad. So what are the key things he says to ditch? And what are those angel foods and spices we should bring in?
Yeah, it's a real clean out. Get rid of the high-carb junk, salty snacks, anything with trans fats, foods loaded with unhealthy saturated fats. And then invite in the good guys. Those vibrant, colorful veggies, kale, broccoli, they're packed with antioxidants, compounds that fight inflammation, even potentially cancer.
And spices.
Oh yeah, spices are powerhouses. Garlic, turmeric, ginger, major anti-inflammatories. Also cinnamon, especially Ceylon cinnamon if you can find it, and unsweetened cocoa. So good quality dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate for joint health. I can get behind that.
In moderation. And fruits like blackberries, mangosteen, they're loaded with antioxidants and help suppress that key inflammation switch, NFKB. Basically make your kitchen an anti-inflammatory zone.
Okay, pillar 1, EET is clear. Pillar 2, MOV. Now, as an ex-athlete, he must stress this, but for someone in pain, exercise can sound, well, awful. How does he make the case?
It's a crucial point. Yes, it can be daunting, but the benefits of movement are just too big to ignore, even with pain. Think about it on multiple levels. Molecularly, movement actually stimulates your cartilage to produce its matrix, its structure, and it boosts synovial fluid, the joint's natural lube.
So movement keeps things oiled, literally.
Literally. Metabolically, exercise helps inhibit NFKB, dials down inflammation, and improves insulin sensitivity. mechanically. Stronger muscles, tendons, bones mean less stress on the joint itself, plus weight loss, if needed, takes a huge load off. It's a win-win-win.
He tells these stories about patients Marguerite, the marathon runner who did too much, and James, the plumber who barely moved, the couch potato. Such opposites. What's the key takeaway from those extremes? It's not just any movement, is it?
Exactly. It's about smart movement, finding the right balance. Marguerite's issue was overtraining. Too much impact, even dynamic, can be damaging. James. His problem was static compression, kneeling all day, combined with inactivity. Motion is lotion, as they say. It stimulates that synovial fluid. Lack of motion leads to stiffness, and muscle strength is non-negotiable. Strong muscles act like shock absorbers. They guide the joint properly, protect the cartilage. Weak muscles mean the joint takes more pounding.
He even mentions his old football coach, Don Shula, and that no excuses attitude. He applies that to exercise for health.
Yeah, that discipline he learned is key. He breaks exercise into 3 parts. First, aerobic exercise. He actually prefers interval training.
Yeah.
Alternating high and low intensity, says it's better for fat loss metabolism than just steady plodding. But steady state is fine too.
What about impact?
Big consideration. If you have bad knees or hips, non-weight-bearing stuff is gold. Swimming is fantastic. The buoyancy takes all the stress off. Biking is good too. Walking, running obviously have more impact. He cautions against really high-intensity programs like maybe CrossFit if you already have significant arthritis. Controlled movement is key. And cross-training. Mix it up. Don't just pound the pavement every day. Vary the load on your joints.
Makes sense. What's the second component?
Resistance training. The goal isn't bodybuilding. It's about maintaining strength. As he says, tone is good. Maintaining strength is essential. Bulk is unnecessary. See, when a joint hurts, your body instinctively shuts down the muscles around it to protect it. That leads to muscle wasting, atrophy.
Which then makes the joint less stable. Vicious cycle again.
Precisely. Resistance training fights that, builds the muscle back up to support the joint. Could be weights, resistance bands, even isometrics, just tensing the muscle without moving the joint. But proper form is critical. Start slow, maybe get some guidance. And the third piece is flexibility training. If you lose range of motion, joints get stiff, movement becomes painful, which causes more damage. He stresses warming up first. Think about cold plastic, it snaps. Warm plastic bends. Same idea.
Good analogy.
Then gentle, steady stretching. Hold it for 5–10 seconds. No bouncing. Bouncing can actually cause injury. Just maintain that fluid motion.
Eat, move. And now the third pillar, supplement. This area feels confusing for a lot of people. All these terms, supplements, vitamins, minerals, nutraceuticals, how does he simplify it?
Yeah, it can be a maze.
Yeah.
His basic message is, these are tools to use in addition to diet and exercise to support specific functions.
Yeah.
And a really critical concept here is bioavailability, which just means how much of the supplement can your body actually absorb and use.
So it doesn't matter how much is in the pill if you can't absorb it.
Exactly. Many supplements are poorly absorbed on their own. That's why you see technologies like phytosome delivery or nanotechnology. They're designed to boost that absorption. So you need to ask, am I actually getting the benefit or is it just passing through? It's about effectiveness. He flags several key vitamins. Vitamin B6 helps make neurotransmitters, build cell membranes, and importantly, helps suppress NF-κB. Vitamin C, we know it for immunity, but it also directly inhibits NF-κB and another inflammatory marker called TNF-alpha. Vitamin D3, crucial for bones because it helps absorb calcium, also key for immune function, and again, helps tame NF-κB. He suggests 5,000 IU daily is often needed, which is higher than standard advice, but generally safe and more effective. And a specific form of vitamin E called gamma-tocopherol. This one is a really potent NF-κB suppressor, and it has benefits for cholesterol too.
Okay, those are the vitamins, but then he recommends a whole stack of other anti-inflammatory supplements, stuff he takes himself. What are some of those main ones?
Right, this is his core list. Calcium is in there, mostly for bone health, but he leans towards getting it from food first, due to some concerns about high-dose calcium pills and heart health. Then, omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA and EPA. Studies show they really can improve joint symptoms. He sees them as a much safer alternative to NSAIDs, ibuprofen and the like, which can cause stomach bleeding and other issues.
Safer pain relief, essentially.
A key part of the strategy, yes. Then there's grapeseed extract. Powerful antioxidant, protects blood vessels, tendons, cartilage, muscle. Resveratrol, the stuff often linked to red wine, which works well alongside curcumin. And speaking of curcumin, from turmeric. Hugely anti-inflammatory, but you need a bioavailable form. Standard curcumin just doesn't get absorbed well. Look for brands mentioning things like BCM95 or biocurcumax.
It's that bioavailability thing again. Crucial for curcumin.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Also boswellia, that's frankincense, another traditional anti-inflammatory, and pomegranate, which helps protect cartilage and inhibits both NFKB and enzymes called MMPs that chew up cartilage.
What about glucosamine and chondroitin? People hear so much about those, but the research seems mixed. What's Dr. Diana's view?
You're right, the research is all over the place. Some European studies are positive. There are even prescription meds there for arthritis.
Yeah.
Big U.S. studies like the GAE trial were less impressive overall, but that GAT trial did show benefit for people with moderate to severe pain. So despite the mixed data, Dr. Diana feels it's worth trying, based on seeing positive results in his own patients over the years. He also gives a nod to licorice root for inflammation, but notes potential side effects. And N-acetylcysteine, or NSE, which helps your body make its own master antioxidant, glutathione.
Okay, that's a lot of options. So when you're standing in the supplement aisle feeling overwhelmed, what's his advice? How do you choose well?
Key advice: read the labels carefully. Check the amount of the active ingredient. Go with reputable brands, ones that do third-party testing for quality and purity. You want to know what you're actually getting, and realize that a basic one-a-day multivitamin is probably not going to have high enough doses of these specific things to make a real therapeutic difference for joint pain. You usually need individual supplements or targeted formulas.
It's really clear this whole approach, eat, move, supplement, isn't just about easing creaky knees, is it? If we zoom out, how does tackling inflammation and NFKB like this provide those bigger benefits for, say, heart disease and maybe even cancer prevention?
That's the beautiful synergy of it all. For heart disease, think about the diet changes. More omega-3s, ditching trans fats, controlling insulin, that directly combats inflammation in your blood vessels. It helps manage cholesterol, prevents arteries from hardening. Exercise adds more protection against stroke, diabetes, heart attacks. It's truly cardiovascular health from the inside out.
So fixing your joints helps your arteries.
In a very real way, yes. And for cancer, the diet-focused fiber, fish, lean meats, low glycemic foods helps fight obesity-linked cancers. More fundamentally, by reducing that chronic inflammation driven by NFKB, by boosting your body's own DNA repair mechanisms and antioxidant defenses. You're creating an internal environment that's less hospitable to cancer developing or progressing. It's about risk reduction on a cellular level.
It sounds comprehensive, almost daunting, but he lays it out over 8 weeks, right? It's gradual.
Yes, very much so. It starts with cleaning out the kitchen, that exercising the devils, then establishing regular eating patterns, then slowly introducing supplements one by one, and gradually building up the exercise duration and intensity. It's designed to be sustainable, not a shock to the system. Progressive change.
And those patient stories he includes, like Teresa, who was skeptical but lost weight and got her energy back, or Vinny, who ditched his cane despite severe knee arthritis, they really show it works. It feels like you, the listener, really are getting the tools here to make a change. Like Dr. Diana's father told him, "Make me proud." It's about putting in that effort for yourself.
Absolutely. And what's truly fascinating, what's really empowering here, is realizing how much control you actually have. These aren't drastic, unobtainable things. Simple, consistent choices about food, movement, supplements. They add up. They can genuinely shift your quality of life, reduce that chronic pain, and let you live more fully.
So think about it as you finish listening. What could you do again or do better if pain wasn't holding you back? Maybe it's playing with grandkids, traveling, just walking comfortably. See this not as a chore, but as a real chance, an opportunity for a healthier, more vibrant you.